Hello, my name is Robert Benkove. I'm an automation specialist with Turtle & Hughes, an authorized Allen Bradley Rockwell Automation distributor. I've been designing and supporting as well as teaching people about automation for over 30 years. Welcome and thanks for joining me for my first in a video series based around the Connected Components Workbench software, programming the Micro 800 and PanelView Component series of products. Today's video presentation is on the unboxing and powering up of the Micro 850 Starter Kit. The Connected Components Workbench, or CCW as it's often referred to, can be downloaded for free and even comes with a PLC simulator. So please see the following link for more details. Thanks again, and let's begin. Okay, so what we have here is the PanelView component, 4-inch color touchscreen, has Ethernet capabilities as well as 4 function keys that you can assign to buttons on your display. We also have an analog input card that's a plug-in module that we're going to be able to install and read a 0 to 10 volts or coming from our system. We also have now the PLC itself. I'll pull out some of these other items here. This is a pretty neat little device here. This is the input simulator switchboard. As I safely remove this from the bag, keeping in mind that you must follow the polarity on the devices. You'll notice if you look at the circuit board, you'll have your ground and your positive, as well as down here for your analog. There's also a trim pot here that will provide a 0 to 10 volts, so you would apply your 24 volts here, and your 10 volts will come out here, as well as some input simulator switches once this is plugged into the PLC. Be sure to mind the polarity, and I'll go into greater detail on that, because if you do hook these up incorrectly, you run the chance of wrecking a circuit on the board. You also get some cables with this. You have the USB cable connection. It's basically the standard type cable that you would use for a printer. We also have an Ethernet cable. Nice product here. Very well made. We'll put that to the side. You also get some instructions here. This is more details on this in a slide later. I'll put this over to the side. And lastly, getting down to the necessary PanelView component connectors. I'll show you how to hook that up. We also have now, finally, the PLC. So let me get rid of this stuff here. And we'll take a look at this. This label here is for protection for assembly. So if you put it in a panel and you're cutting wires and such, you don't want any of the wires or clippings to get in here. So they recommend usually leaving this on until you're finally ready to power up. Once you power it up, go ahead and remove this. So we'll remove this product right here. So here now is your base. Attached conveniently is a 24 volt power supply. This can come off. You don't necessarily have to use this power supply, but it looks nice in a package, so you can kind of add this in, slide right in, providing your 110 volts as well as your 24 volts out. On the top, we have some inputs. On the bottom, we have outputs. You'll see here we also have plug-in modules. Be sure to save the mounting screws. Keeps the I/O card connected securely. As we unfold it here, now the IF2 that comes with the kit can be plugged into any one of the slots. For our demonstration purposes, we're going to plug this card into the very first slot. You can see here is indicated that this card will also take not only voltage, but current. Also, you get 2 channels with this. You can get expansion cards that have a much higher density quantity of inputs. And now we're going to install the input simulator switchboard. Be mindful that the first position must start in the COM 0, and then subsequently add it in, and be sure to tighten all those screws down. You'll need a 110 volt power cord. I salvaged one from an old computer. After we've connected our power cord to the power supply, we're ready now to connect up our 24 volts output to the PLC power input, the input simulator switchboard, as well as the analog output. Please pay special attention to polarity and make sure that you connect it properly. Today I'll be using brown and blue, brown for positive, blue for negative, so we can clearly designate and make sure that we have the proper connections. And there you have it. We now have connected up and wired up our starter kit, and we're ready to power it up. Again, be mindful of the polarity. You'll see on the analog card that we can take in 0 to 10 voltage or a 4 to 20 milliamp signal. So connect them appropriately. After we've powered up our PLC, the DC OK light will indicate, the PLC power light will be on, and if we toggle our switches, we can see that the inputs toggle on and off. Due to the design of the circuit board, there is no input 4. The Micro 850 has 3 available communication ports. These are under the protective covers, which we can remove with a small screwdriver. The USB cable can be used to connect your PC with the PLC, configuring the device's IP address and installing firmware, upload and download programs, and monitor the status of the code. Provided in the starter kit, you'll get a USB Type-B cable, as well as an Ethernet cable. The USB cable can be used to connect your PC with the PLC, configuring the device's IP address and installing firmware, upload and download programs, and monitor the status of the code. The serial port can be used with the 1761 CBL PM02 cable, the same one that is used with the Micrologix family of PLCs to connect to your PC, install firmware, upload, download, and monitor code, including to connecting to devices such as operator interfaces like the panel view component included in the starter kit, printers or barcode readers, and a few different protocols are supported such as Modbus RTU, master and slave, SIP serial server, and ASCII. There is also an Ethernet port available. The Ethernet port, once an IP address is configured, you can use this port to upload, download code, monitor the status, as well as communicate with other devices, including interfaces to other PLCs, servo controllers, AC drives, and many more products. Included in the Micro 850 starter kit is the panel view component 4-inch color touchscreen. Notice on the front here we have the protective covering which can be removed. We also have 4 function keys that can be utilized in your displays to activate buttons and data entry. If we take a look at the back, you see that the part number, 2711R-T4T. We have our 24 volt power connection. We have a couple of USB connections here on the back and on the side as well. We also have a micro SD card slot for uploading, downloading programs. We have a coin battery cell to back up the memory for the clock, as well as our RS-232, DH45, and Ethernet connections. The mounting clips, after the unit's been installed in your panel, simply go in, put into the slot, snug down to where it meets the panel, and then finally locked in. After we've connected up our 24 volt DC power, we're now ready to power up. My next video presentation will be on using the Connected Components Workbench and RSLinx communication software to set IP addresses, perform firmware installation, and much more. Thanks for viewing my video. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and be sure to visit turtle.com for more informative videos on everything automation related.
But man, you're always on vacation.